Hello there guys, and welcome back to a brand new LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga video. In today's video I'll be going over all of the potential explorable locations that could be in LEGO Star Wars based on Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. Before jumping into that though, I just want to say a huge thank you to you all for the support on my first episode of this series. It's been the best video I've had on the channel in months, and I'm really excited to keep making content on the game, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then be sure to do so that you don't miss out on anything. In Attack of the Clones we had a total of 5 planets, 3 of which were in Episode 1, however we now have different locations within those planets. The 5 planets are Coruscant, Naboo, Kamino, Tatooine and lastly Geonosis. Like the last episode, I'll go over each of the locations on a planet by planet basis, and I'll do it in chronological order of appearance from the film. Coruscant was of course the first to appear in the film, so let's start there. As you'll know from the trailer, there are already 2 locations confirmed for the open world of Coruscant, with the Federal District and the Uskru District. I spoke about the Federal District last week in that it's the Senate buildings and the Jedi Temple, however I didn't touch upon the Uskru District, which includes the streets of Coruscant as seen in the trailers. I only touch upon it now though, as this is the first time we actually get to see the streets of Coruscant properly in the films. It's awesome to have known that the streets are explorable for a good year and a half now, and one thing I'm really excited to do is go into Dexter's Diner to see how it compares to the original LEGO Star Wars video game, where the diner was the hub. The next location in Coruscant is one that I'm definitely not expecting to see, however I think it could have a small chance, so I thought I'd mention it anyway. That location is what I'd call the Industrial District. At the end of the film, we see Dooku meet up with Palpatine in what appears to be a very industrial location. All we see though is the hangar, so I can't imagine we'll be able to explore it anyway, but I do think it would be great to have an area that we could actually get to walk around in. Like I said though, I can't see it happening, but it's definitely an option. Naboo is the next planet we see in the film, and whilst I already spoke about Theed last week, we do see a new location with the Lake Country. I'm not really expecting to go here during the actual story, as there won't really be anything to do in terms of gameplay, however I think it could be a really fun and beautiful location to explore, so I really hope to see it in the game. Next we have Kamino, which only has one location from the film, and that is of course Tapoka City. We've already had the odd glimpse here and there of the environment thanks to the trailers, but it was one of my favourite levels in Attack of the Clones in the original video games, due to how cool the environment was, so I really can't wait to explore it in the game when it finally releases. Then we head back to Tatooine, where the biggest location we go to is Mos Espa, but I already spoke about that last week. In the film, however, we do also see Lars homestead, a ton of sand crawlers and a Tusken Raider camp, among other landscape, so it would be really great to have some generic Tatooine landscape that isn't necessarily the Dune Sea or Beggar's Canyon, where we could then have Lars homestead and other smaller locations situated from the planet. It's obvious that Lars homestead will be in the game, as it's where Luke grew up, so you can't not have it, and we've also seen it in trailer footage as well. I just hope that Tatooine is hugely expansive and we get to see these other smaller locations like the Tusken camp within the open world. The last planet then is of course Geonosis. Geonosis is another planet that I think will be pretty huge to explore, and there are 3 main locations that I'd like to see explorable within it. The first of which is the Geonosian Arena. Whilst we know that this will be available in a level, I do really hope to see it fully explorable in the open world, as I'd love to roam around it and potentially do some activities there outside of the chaos that will be in the level. Whilst we don't see this next location in the film, I would love to be able to explore the catacombs of Geonosis, or even just the location where Obi-Wan gets held captive. I think it would be a really fun area to explore, and you could add a ton of Easter eggs like the Geonosian Queen, or even zombies as seen in Star Wars The Clone Wars. Finally, I just want there to be a big expansive area of the battlefield from the Battle of Geonosis. I think it would be amazing to roam around the desert and potentially explore the aftermath of the start of the Clone Wars. I'm really hoping that the battle will be playable in the game to a certain extent, but I would also love to be able to do quests and all the rest of it whilst we're there. The big expansive area could also include the hangar where Obi-Wan and Anakin fought Dooku, which will no doubt be in a level I'm sure, but it would also just be a cool place to explore. In summary, Attack of the Clones adds some great locations to existing planets from Episode 1, whilst also introducing some really big opportunities for a few new planets. Next week I'll be moving on to Revenge of the Sith, which should include some other big locations, so be sure to stay tuned to the channel for that one. Let me know in the comments if you feel like I missed anything from episode 2, and be sure to let me know where you'd like to explore the most from this film. That is it from me today though guys, thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.